What's up, everyone? This is Nick Lawler, and this is Big Z Nation, and we're here for the first annual edition of Nick's Picks with Big Z Nation. Today, we're going to be going on my final mock draft before the NFL draft happens on Thursday, so let's get started. With the first overall pick, the Browns are going to take Sam Darnold from UCF. They cannot mess this up. He is the best quarterback in the draft, and this is exactly what they've been needing for years and years. They cannot mess this up. For pick number 2, we're going to go to New York, and the Giants are going to take Saquon Barkley from Penn State. He completes that offense, and they have no running backs right now, at least not any good ones. And he is a generational talent and the best player in this draft class. We're going back to New York for the 3rd overall pick, and Baker Mayfield is going to be the selection for the Jets. This guy has a New York attitude and is exactly what the Jets need to succeed. For the 4th overall pick, we're heading back to the Browns, and Bradley Chubb from NC State is going to be the selection here. The Browns win the draft if they get this guy. This is 2 safe and effective picks. What do you think, Big Z Nation?
Well, Bradley Chubb is an absolute animal on the defensive line, and he will pair up greatly with Myles Garrett to make an insane defensive line could really rush the quarterback.
For the 5th overall pick, the Broncos are going to take Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame. This is the best offensive line prospect in years and gives the Broncos their very own version of Zach Martin. They could trade out of this pick, and the Bills are a popular choice to trade up, but the Bills know that the Colts want to trade down and won't take the quarterback that they want. So for the 6th pick, let's go visit Buffalo, and we're going back to New York, and they're going to trade up with the Colts and select Josh Allen from Wyoming. The Colts love this trade right now because they get a ton of picks for their rebuild. In this mock, they will pick up the 12th, the 22nd, and 2 second-round picks this year, and the Bills get their quarterback at pick number 6, not pick number 2. The Buccaneers, for the 7th overall pick, are going to take Derwin James from Florida State. They had a horrible secondary last year, and Derwin James is really the best safety prospect in the draft right now. He really shores up that defense. For the pick number 8, we're going to have a little bit of surprise here. The Patriots will pair up picks number 23, picks number 31, a second-rounder and a third-rounder this year for the Bears number 8. Rosen's stock has kind of fallen due to some off-the-field issues. But Belichick is really the perfect coach to teach Rosen how to perform at the highest level. For the 9th overall pick, the 49ers are going to take Tremaine Edmunds from Virginia Tech. They have a lot of concerns about Reuben Foster right now and the off-the-field issues he's dealing with. And Tremaine Edmunds would really be the best possible player to replace Reuben Foster in that defense. He's very Anthony Barr-like in his play. For the 10th overall pick, the Raiders are going to take Roquan Smith from Georgia. This is the most Raiders pick you can make in the draft. He is just a tackling machine, hard-nosed player, and will really fix that defense. For the 11th overall pick, the Packers are going to trade up with the Dolphins. Denzel Ward has started to fall because of a QB run, but the Packers fix that at 11. They give up an extra 4th-round pick to the Dolphins to help fix that secondary they need to so bad. The Colts will select for the first time in the 1st round after trading down with the Patriots, and they're going to get Harold Landry from Boston College. This is the 2nd-best edge prospect in the draft, and he really bolsters up that defense. The Redskins are going
to... Harold Landry is a beast, and the Colts really need him to help their defense, who was not the best last year, and he could really get out the quarterback and the running back when needed to.
So for the 13th overall pick, the Redskins are going to take Vita V from Washington. This guy is a run-stuffing monster and really pairs up nicely with Jonathan Allen, their 1st-round pick from last year. So the Dolphins are going to pick after trading down with the Packers, and they're going to take Minkah Fitzpatrick from Alabama. He falls due to teams needing other positions, and the Dolphins simply go best player available, taking the versatile weapon in the defensive secondary. For the 15th overall pick, the Cardinals take Calvin Ridley from Alabama. They don't really value a quarterback at 15, even though it's such a dire need, and instead take the best wide receiver prospect in the draft to team up with Larry Fitzgerald. The Ravens at 16 have been connected to a lot of wide receiver prospects, but I think they really value the second-round options at wide receiver instead of the 1st. So instead, they're going to take Leighton Vander Esch, the best linebacker available, and really shore up that defense. At pick number 17, the Chargers are going to take Lamar Jackson. They sit pat instead of trying to trade up to get their guy, and they get their QB of the future. For pick number 18, the Seahawks take Connor Williams from Texas. They'd really like to trade out of this pick, trade out of the 1st round in general, but Connor Williams falls to them after a run on other players. He really has all-pro potential and really fixes that offensive line that just had Russell Wilson running all over the place last year. For the 19th overall pick, the Cowboys are going to take DJ Moore from Maryland. They just cut ties with Des Bryant, a longtime Cowboy, and so now they need a new weapon for Dak Prescott. This guy's an explosive playmaker, and he has great hands. The Cowboys have been connected to Cortland Sutton, but they view him more as a second-round prospect, so DJ Moore is the pick here. For pick number 20, the Lions are going to take Marcus Davenport from small school University of Texas San Antonio. He's a small school prospect, but he is very raw, and he just has that kind of athleticism that would warrant the Lions taking him at pick number 20. He'd pair up great with Ziggy Ansah on that defense. The Lions could go Darius Geis here and get their running back in the future, but with such a deep class of running backs, they really value Davenport over Geis in this situation. For pick number 21, the Bengals are going to take Mike McGlinchey from Notre Dame. He has a great pedigree, and Notre Dame is very good at producing great offensive linemen. But they do have other needs, but offensive tackle was just too disappointing and let them down too many times last year to ignore it in the first round. For the 22nd overall pick, the Colts will have their second pick in the first round this year, and they will take Isaiah Wynn from Georgia. Instead of getting either Quentin Nelson or Bradley Chubb, which would likely have been their situation at 6, they get Landry and Wynn, and they really just win this draft. What do you think, Ethan?
Isaiah Wynn, beast. He can play anywhere on the line, and he could really help the Colts' line, who is absolutely terrible the past few years.
Couldn't agree more. As we look on to pick number 23, the Bears are going to take Jaire Alexander from Louisville. This guy's really a top 15 talent. You can't get much better than this guy. They trade down, get picks for their rebuild, and they get Jaire Alexander instead of Denzel Ward, who they probably would have taken at 8. And I don't think there's a 15-pick differential in talent there, so I think they really win this trade. The Panthers at 24 are going to take Christian Kirk from Texas A&M. This guy has a build like a running back. He was extremely productive at Texas A&M, and he has the speed that Carolina needs to run that defense. Pick number 25, Maurice Hurst is going to be the pick for the Titans. They could trade out of the first round with some of their top prospects out, but they stay and select one of the best defensive linemen in the draft. What do you think?
Maurice Hurst is a top 15 talent, I think, and due to heart conditions and doctors were concerned that he wasn't going to be healthy, he falls to the Titans, which really could use him in their scheme.
Definitely, they could use him. For the 26th overall pick, the Falcons are going to take Daron Payne from Alabama. This guy is an absolutely sensational defensive lineman, and he really completes that young defensive line of Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, and Grady Jarrett. For the 27th overall pick, the Saints are going to take a tight end, Dallas Goedert from North Dakota State. You could really flip a coin in between Hayden Hurst and Dallas Goedert as far as value as a player. But Goedert offers a little bit more to the passing game and Drew Brees directly, so I think that's where the direction they're going to go in. For the 28th overall pick, the Steelers are going to take Rashaan Evans from Alabama. Rashaan Evans is a really speedy linebacker, and he really helped to ease the loss of Ryan Shazier. I'm not saying he can replace him, because nothing can really replace the way Shazier played last season, but he can create a fantastic duo if and when he returns. The Chiefs are going to trade back up into the first round at pick number 29 with the Jaguars. The Jaguars can get a better value by trading back and collecting more picks, and the Chiefs get a perfect outside cornerback replacement for Marcus Peters, who they traded off earlier in the year. Isaiah Oliver is the perfect cornerback for that scheme. Pick number 30, the Vikings are going to take Will Hernandez from University of Texas, El Paso. This guy's a run-mauling guard, and he will open up so many holes in the running game for Dalvin Cook, and he will really create another dimension for this Vikings offense. For pick number 31, the Bears are going to have their second pick of the first round, and they're going to take Cortland Sutton from SMU. They'd really like to take a linebacker here, I think, but they can really upgrade the wide receiver room right here. They'd love Kevin White to shine this season, but they can't really rely on him after all the injuries. He makes a great team with Allen Robinson. For the last pick in the first round, Mason Rudolph is going to be the pick as the Cardinals trade back up with the Eagles to take him. With Oliver gone and no visible holes, the Eagles trade out and the Cardinals get their QB of the future. That's it for the very first edition of Nick's Picks with Big Z Nation. Boom!